And we're on. In the upper left, the best macroer for Terran in the world.
Starter Bomber.
In the bottom right, his opponent and his teammate. He is
Starter Curious.
Well, Otasis, remember yesterday when we were trying to figure out which X-Man every player was the other day?
Yeah.
Yesterday. And we both, our first thoughts for MVP was Cyclops.
Yeah, he's Cyclops.
But Nesty we had a hard time with, right?
Well, I think I figured it out.
What?
I think he's Beast.
Yeah, someone tweeted
he's
that
Beast.
at me.
Yeah, somebody tweeted that at me too.
Yeah, I think they
might
be right.
I think he is Beast.
You're like, yeah.
Either that or he's Professor X.
I always thought he might be. Did you see the new X-Men movie?
No.
Oh no, there's like the ultimate mutant in that. I think he might be that. It's like you can't even hurt him and stuff.
That must be me, man.
It's like the ultimate mutant.
I want to be the ultimate mutant.
You're one of them, actually.
Yeah.
Wolverine is one of the ultimate mutants.
Yeah. That by adamantium skeleton,
one of the best.
right?
I mean, he can't beat me, Magneto, but
no,
man. I just pin you to the wall.
No, man. Professor X is trying to tell you to save the nerds. If we don't need the nerds, you kill them all.
All right, so Bomber just kind of putting his barracks off to his side. Curious already scouted it.
I actually like that a lot of Terran players are doing this. Just very awkward placement for the barracks so that way the Zerg always ends up getting a heart palpitation and trying to scramble around and find proxies.
I feel like they should have a certain number of places that they're comfortable putting out on each map, and then just roll a die in their head and just put it at one of them so it's not predictable.
Yeah.
I think that'd be smart.
It is.
Well, quick command center, but the gas has already been taken, so very likely we will see reactored Hellions. Oh no, a reactored barracks. Oh. I wonder if we're still going to see Hellions.
You sounded really funny when you did that.
Oh.
You're like, oh no.
That's you don't normally see that. It's very interesting.
All right, the bunker's coming up here. Yeah, I agree, though. That's actually a little bit weird, to get the reactor like that.
Yeah, we normally don't see it. I mean, he may just be getting the reactor before the factory so that he has a decent number of Marines, which would be kind of cool. It looks like that is what he's doing. All right.
Enough Marines to get in that bunker and go around killing some overlords while the Hellions are out, dominating the map.
Exactly.
I was really interested in that last game to see how Curious dealt with the Hellions. Because he is, not going to not have creep, that's for sure.
Quite true. I really liked it, actually. When he ran those couple wings in that game, it was just such smart play. He's like, oh, wait a minute, you're going 3 command center off like nothing? You mean there's no attack I have to be scared about? Okay, and he throws up another base, gets a Roach Horn. He's like, the Roaches will keep me alive against your Hellions, and then I'm just going to counterattack when I feel fine.
Yeah.
It was like actually such a calm and what a cool guy. Like, when he made that decision, he was wearing a leather jacket.
Oh, yeah.
No question about that.
No, there was no question about that. He had his leather jacket on.
Look, he got off his motorcycle, took a cigarette out of his sleeve, because that's where he rolls his cigarettes up.
Yeah.
Put it behind his ear. Probably bit off the end of a cigar and spit it out. And decided to do exactly what he did at that opening, because it was that man.
It was that cool, yeah. What are you going to do?
Nah, man, that's what you're going to do. That's the type of cool I hope to be one day, Tasteless.
Oh, you're cool, Artosis.
Oh, thanks.
You're in your nerd cool cocoon. You're not going to be a nerd moth. You're going to be a nerd butterfly.
All right, so we just had a scan on the main base of Curious, and he sees a Roach Horn. We do have 7 Roaches in production, so right now Bomber making a bunch of bunkers once again.
He might just go right to the front of the base and try to tear it down. All the good Zorgs have a good Roach Link time in TVZ.
Yeah.
If you watch enough.
Well, the Roaches are coming, Tasteless. A little bit similar to the game before, at least in numbers of units, but this one's quicker. And he's not going to take a third behind it. That one
I can't believe that they actually all got away.
This could be a little bit scary. SCV's coming out. And the Marauder in a bunker against Roaches is like... Roach is like, no.
Well, this is pretty good. He's actually managed to make him lift.
Yeah. I like that Marauder right now. He's out. He's harassing. He can kite the Roaches pretty well.
Good back here.
And it looks like the Roach harassment's pretty done. We do have some more Lings being made by Curious, and a Macro Hatch going down.
He might try to come up here and snipe. The Marauder is... Bomber, pay attention. Too late. Now the attack can continue.
He may no longer maraud.
Can't maraud around anymore.
No, can't do it.
He's marauding a little bit over here, then marauding a little bit over there.
Yeah, man. That's what he does. He's
That's what
marauder.
he does. He's a yeah.
Jeez, tasteless. All right. So just trying to pick off some more aliens if possible. Does have a nice little fumblings. Yo. Oh!
Nice, nice.
Yeah, that was actually really nice.
That was not expected at all.
And that makes it, you know, killing off some Marauders allows him to continue a little bit of Roach harassment. That alien just doesn't want to die. Now it does. All right. And the Marauder stims.
Yep, stim completes, but that was actually pretty effective by Curious.
Yes.
He really screwed with the economy.
Yeah, it was pretty good. But Curious did not choose to take any additional bases in that time. Of course, that stopped Hellions from ever being on the map again.
SCV ready.
But instead, he's chosen, you know, the Macro Hatch, getting a layer, continuing upgrades, and making a lot of links. And, you know, he has all 4 gases, so there's 2 different styles he could be doing right now. He might be going up into just kind of a Leanox style where it's a little bit later third. In fact, he's getting it now, which I think that's better than waiting until he starts to spire, which will happen in a little bit. But starting a little bit quicker, knowing there's no Hellions out, it's a good choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree completely. Just stay at home, get that expansion. You already did so much damage to the Terran.
Yeah.
And messed up his unit composition for him actually controlling the map.
Yeah, he has like a funny little unit composition now. There's like Marauders mixed in and whatnot. We have a lot of Lings on the map, so this little push out by Terran, he's just going to have to lift off in medevacs.
Now that's 2 medevacs there. Is that going to be enough to heal this all?
Well, those Zerglings do have the +1 carapace. So
okay.
It would have definitely, that would have killed a lot more. You know, that's a cool thing about having a Marauder in your Marine Ball in a situation like that. It takes up more surface area, and it has more armor.
Yeah.
And more health. So the Zerglings that are attacking it are kind of null and void. You'd much rather get full surface area on all just Marines than Marines and a Marauder. It's Curious starting to drone up that base. He's down in drones a little bit. 52 against 55 right now. Like 55 SCVs, that is.
All right, he's got the Banelings on the way. By the way, again with Curious, just pushing the creep out very quickly.
Yeah, he's got.
He's doing a good job of that.
But this base down at Curious.
Uh-oh,
indeed, and a huge counterattack might make it all the way to the main. He's probably going to want to hold position at least one Zergling on depots.
Oh, he's going to lose that.
This is a huge moment. These Zerglings doing a great job. Curious has lost his base down there.
This is a lot of damage being dealt here. Those Marines, when they pop out, they're not going to be as useful.
Bomber in trouble back at home. Queen's almost taking out his full medevac. Oh, and they barely don't. 6 hit points left on that. Well, in the meantime,
nice
SCD hold position. And those Lings, looks like their damage is done. Not much more for them to do as the Marines have popped out.
Yep. And finally, once this attack is cleaned up, and the medevacs will just now finally come back.
Yeah. And it's, well, that was a really nice counterattack. But, of course, he did lose a base in that time. 12 mutas on the way, though. Curious is in great shape. The 12 mutas are going to just be so strong. Bomber's, in fact, moving out again. If Curious just makes Ling Baneling with these mutas, he will crush this army because he already has Baneling speed. He already has really decent upgrades with 1-1 on his Lings and Banelings. And this army is, I mean, it's not that strong that Bomber's sending out. It's not that scary.
All right. You know, had those Lings not gotten in there, Bomber would have already won this game, too. Like he would have.
Yeah, he would be way far ahead.
Uh-oh, Muta's taking out the tanks up here.
Oh, man, it does take one out, targeting the other.
Oh, no, nothing leaves
everything.
here alive.
No one leaves here alive.
So we have 60 drones to 36 SCVs. The army of Bomber is very, very weak. It's just like a handful of Marines and a siege tank. I mean, Curious could get really aggressive, but I feel like he's just going to go ahead and go into a macro game from here because he's got a pretty scary lead that's going to be hard to come back from. He's up 50 supply, and these Bomber's not truly ready for the Mutas.
Now, the expansion is up and running and still in good shape. Now, remember, also, Bomber's macro is really good. I mean, if Curious makes a mistake or two, I think Bomber can still come back. I'm actually shocked that he's moving out with this. I am totally baffled by this move.
Yeah. Well, it's all right. Curious gonna, well, I guess just get hit by a turret and then run away. Oh! And Curious is now making some Banes up there. He might be doing another counterattack. If Curious loses that other base because he's counterattacking here, I'm going to be very
confused. This is actually even a good idea over here.
This is not going to be as good as I think Curious wanted. And in the meantime, he is going to lose his extra base. And now he's going to lose all his mutas.
What? I give him Curious this. He could have actually just engaged that.
Yeah, and he loses the base. And all his mutas are now dead.
He just like lost the game.
Yeah.
Talk about throwing away a lead.
Yeah, that was a gigantic lead. I don't really know what to say. He got ahead economically and army-wise. And when that happens, really all you need to do is sit back and crush armies, especially as Zerg. That's what Zerg wants to do anyways. In a perfect world, Zerg sits around and crushes armies.
Yeah,
and gets more and more advanced.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's in a perfect world that happens if you're Terran.
Yeah. But I mean, he just made this game a game again. He could have easily crushed that army down there if he just uses his army for that.
Yeah.
Instead, he attacks with half his army, defends with half his army, loses
so stuck
everything.
in this mode of thought of counterattacking that they don't just be like, wait a minute.
You have to always...
I'm actually ahead. I can win the game.
You should be looking at exactly what has happened so far. You can't just stand by general rules, which are normally good. If you're ahead in that way, do not give him anything. Just crush him when he comes out. Well, it's 109 to 127 supply. Curious still in the lead supply-wise, but his Mutalisk flock diminished down to very small amounts of mutas. Curious right now spending most of his money on Banelings and Lings.
All right, he's going to transfer these drones, and you know, to be honest, Bomber's actually in a pretty dire situation as well. He's almost mined out.
Yeah, his main's going to be empty pretty quickly here.
So this
and then
attack
it's natural as well, actually, yeah.
Now, because the Muta count's so low, Bomber does have a chance to succeed with this. It's all going to be about whether or not the Banelings connect specifically with the Marines.
Yep. And here Bomber goes, a beautiful spread with his army.
Very beautiful.
Yeah, that's going to be hard to break. Zergling's just rolling in. The Banelings now coming. And will he hit the Marines? They are spreading out. Does he spread enough? Really cost efficient.
He spread it out really well, but
yeah.
The problem is that then the Zerglings are like, all right, I'll take that.
And Curious crushes the army.
Well, not the cleanest game we've ever casted.
No, not at all. But, you know, Curious crushes that army. He's once again in a pretty dominating lead. But it's, again, the game could already be over if he had not tried that crazy counterattack. Bomber trying to take a third. I guess he has to. Not many other choices.
Yeah.
What's he going to do? Just attack the third base of Curious once again?
I don't know.
If he can get Curious to do a few more bad counters, then perhaps he can come back once again. But right now he's down by almost 50% of the supply, which would be 50 supply because he's at 100.
Yeah, it's true. You can see Curious just took a peek there at the Mutas. He says, well, I've killed his army a couple times. I think this should work.
going to go for it. The siege tanks are not siege.
Oh,
this could be it. And a few banelings still going after those Marines. They're trying to spread. Great spreading by Bomber.
He actually
Bomber
survived
spreads.
that?
He spreads Marines so well. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I thought the game was about to be
Tasteless. I don't believe it.
over. I had one of my really good GGs where I was going to be like, JJ. But then it didn't happen. I'm like, oh.
You had it ready?
I had it ready.
Are you going to still use it for this game?
No.
You going to save it for one later?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe for game number 3.
I was like taking a big breath of air. All right. Well, a little counter. Does he close it in time? Very nice.
So just going to lose these lings. They might do a little bit of damage, but not very much at all. No, nothing at all, I guess. Bruise a couple Marines. Marines will check into the medevacs.
Bomber just doesn't die, man.
No, he doesn't like to die. He's not really into that.
He's not into that as much.
Some people are. Some people aren't.
Yep.
He's not. Whatever. It's his decision. All right, so Curious once again making a ton of units and moving up. I don't know if Bomber can live this time. His Marines are badly hurt. No siege tanks to help out.
My God, he's good at splitting those. I cannot believe I just saw that.
Yes, he is.
That is almost unbelievable. Now, this wave should kill it, but this has got to be pretty intimidating for Curious, seeing how Bomber basically refuses to die.
Man, I tell you what, this is... He finally does kill him. You ever see that movie Snatch?
Yeah.
Bomber is like that, what is he, the Ukrainian guy? That Bullet Tooth Tony has to shoot like 9 times to kill.
Oh, yeah.
He just keeps shooting him, he thinks he's dead, and then he's like, he's like, and then he shoots him in the head finally.
That was actually a good movie.
That's a great movie, man.
All right. Guys, I mean, Bomber's dead, but he is just playing his heart out.
Nice on the king. And
right, is that going to be the GG? Yes, it is. Okay.
All right. Wow. All right. So it is tied up 1-1. Bomber taking game number 1 very convincingly. Curious, pretty convincing on game number 2. Not gonna lie, he did blunder and let Bomber into a position where perhaps Bomber could come back from a position where it was like, you're kind of dead, Bomber.
Yeah, I mean, damn. Well, we're gonna go to
Well
game.
said, Tasteless.
Damn. We're gonna have to go on to game number 3. I still think Bomber's got this. If you look at the way that game 1 was won, and then you look at the way that game number 2 was barely eked out a win there.
Yeah, and let's not forget, this is Bomber's map choice now. He gets to choose.
Yeah.
What map will he choose? I'm going to let you know in just 1 second.
We're going to find out. It's, drum roll,
Daybreak.
Daybreak.
Interesting choice.
Yeah.
Zergs are pretty good at this map, man. This is a big map, and this is a map that Bomber apparently really loves because he chose this against Inca as well.
Yeah.
So this is just a map that obviously Bomber's very comfortable in, despite the fact that you're a little bit further away, and oftentimes with Terran, you like a little bit of a smaller map.
Yeah.
So that you can get around a little bit quicker. Sometimes your army is normally a little bit less mobile.
It's time for game number 3. Bomber against Curious.
One of these players is going to drop to code A.
I want to find like a word in the English language, because I know it's out there. English has the most words.
Yeah.
Someone's like, technically it's German because
They can hammer together words in a certain way. I'm like,
No, it's English. So go ahead, Tasteless.
the way that it looks when Bomber's playing, because it's so different. It's so perfect.
Yeah,
and not even human.
Yes.
It looks like a supercomputer or something is doing. The way he's macroing, the way he splits the units. I don't have the word in my lexicon. But
Maybe he's like Maka. He's the perfect creation of Nesty in the future.